Hello, and welcome to the Jack and Cole podcast. My name is Cole, and I am joined today with my wondrous co-host Jack. It's been a long time, Jack. I was looking at the timestamps. I think like September, early September is the last time we did the podcast. So really excited to dive right into some Avatar. How are you feeling about everything so far?
I mean, honestly, I feel much more excited about this than I was about Spider-Man, and I'm just really happy that this set feels like they accomplished something. This feels like a return to form where like Edge of Eternities was of course amazing, like cards like Quantum Riddler and like just such like powerful designs came out of that set. Avatar followed suit, just did the universes beyond thing. It was very magic-esque, and I think they hit this one out of the park.
Absolutely, yeah. And just tell me about because I have not played as much Magic. I know you've been very enveloped into the scene. What has Magic looked like for you over the last couple of months, and what have you been enjoying? What have you maybe not been enjoying so far?
So this is a perfect segue, actually, because we haven't been able to talk in so long. Cole, there was a banned and restricted announcement in both standard and legacy. Uh, there was some extreme changes. They banned profs, Screaming Nemesis, and VV in standard, saying, "Okay, Red Deck, you're not gonna have inevitability anymore. You can't shock your Screaming Nemesis in response to the shoot the sheriff." To take away my life gain for the rest of the time. They said that's not possible. That card's too good. Take it out of here to make the red deck less good. And Axe, VV, and Profs. The busted secondary game plan of just like turn one Mako, turn two Profs, turn three, put a counter on the Mako, turn three Steam Core Scholar, draw two, discard two, put two counters on the Mako. It's a 4/4. Then you have two profs triggers. You make the Steam Core Scholar a 4/4 with flying and vigilance, or you can put those two counters in the Mako and make it a 6/6 on turn three. And
They're
so they're
good.
like, okay, both of these game plans are just too good.
Yeah.
We have to ban them. And I'm glad that they didn't go for the Agathas because if they go after Agathas, it feels like they're repeating the bridge from below issue where
Mhm.
they try to go after something that supports it, and then the deck just evolves into just being like, no, this card before anything else is just busted
Yeah.
normally, like
Yeah.
by itself. Like when they just left us with Hogak, it was still busted. It was
Yeah.
still busted.
I will say, I think Agatha, you make a good point about Agatha's, and I think that that card is also just a fun card to have around. Like, sure, it enables busted things, but I don't think you should really like punish Soul Cauldron for that because a lot of the things that it is doing is like trinkety and cool. Um, and for the most part, I don't think that it's like a huge problem. So that's just how I feel about it. I mean, it is a very powerful ability, but if you're like exiling loot to your Agathas and drawing three cards or whatever, like I don't really even think that's like super busted or anything. So awesome. And then Pioneer, Fire Hero getting banned. Very interesting. Tell me about that. What's going on there?
They said the mono red deck was too good. They said that the mice deck just straight up was ported from standard into Pioneer. Slick Shot was already one of the best decks in the format. You have Quarry Steel Cutter. Like all of the busted band cards in standard are in Pioneer Mice. It's mono red aggro. It can also be black red or green red, depending for the same cards that they played in standard. Just just play them in Pioneer.
Yeah.
And playing taking away Fire Hero is the same fix that they chose in standard. They banned Heartfire Hero to nuke the mouse deck. They did it here because it's just as busted. They have Monstrous Rage. They have Screaming Nemesis is now like still legal in Pioneer. Like all these cards they take away from standard. Next time you queue up in Pioneer, you're gonna see them and be like, ah, yes,
Yeah.
hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yep. Yeah. No, that the mouse package is very strong. It's amusing to me that it's banned in Pioneer, but it's not particularly surprising if that makes sense. Because like very strong ability, even without the surrounding. mouse package or like Innkeeper's Talent, I still think that Heartfire Hero is just like a good card, um, as is. Like you said with Monstrous Rage and stuff like that. So modern dodged in chat. No changes to modern. Jack, any thoughts on that before we move on to anything else? Do you feel like modern's healthy? Do you feel like there are changes that need to be made? What are you thinking about no changes to modern in there? Very large, this is the one time of the year that they get to be very proactive in their bannings. You're seeing a lot of other formats get a lot of love, but modern no changes. What's going on there?
I think that all the Titan players have a big sigh of relief. They're like, okay, they didn't ban Amulet of Vigor.
You think that
They
that's
they
what they
can
would go
take
after? Amulet?
so first off, the format is extremely healthy. We know that it's healthy because the top deck is not the top deck tournament to tournament. It was Belcher that won the Pro Tour, and then immediately after that, you have the RC where there's two prowess decks in the top four, and the winning deck is of course Goryo's. So like there's Goryo's, then Goryo's is replaced by another deck. Right now it's Titan, it's the top dog. It's always kind of been like a really close second best deck, but I think the Titan players were actually really scared this ban and restricted announcement. They were like, okay, if you look at all of the data metrics, like the people who are playing Titan on average are just doing better than the people who aren't playing Titan. And that maybe that says something about the kind of player that plays Titan. However, I also think that like the play patterns themselves are insane. Like,
Yes, and it's
and
like, you know, how many decks didn't get to use that excuse where it was
yeah.
like only the best players get to play this deck,
Only
or it's like KCI is the deck
Nadu,
that
crazy
really,
eye.
yeah,
Yeah.
KCI is the first deck that comes to mind there, but it's not the first one. Second Sunrise, like if you have the mental fortitude to wield this deck, does not make it like I don't think that just because there's that barrier to entry means that we shouldn't be looking at it with that aggressive of a without, the same aggression as if we're dealing with like Hogak or something. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't really speak about it. Modern is extremely healthy. I'll take your word
It
for
feels
it.
great.
Lots
It
of
feels great.
different things winning and in the top eight. So even if there are decks that are like extremely pushed, maybe fueled by the, you know, straight to modern print run cards, it still seems like there's a wide swath of decks that can utilize those cards. So awesome. Let's go ahead and move on to Legacy. Entomb's banned. Nadu Winged Wisdom's banned. Honestly, I kind of forgot Nadu was still legal in Legacy. It makes a lot of sense. I think there's like
Shoot the
one
bird.
there's like one
Shoot
creature that
the
probably goes
bird.
infinite with it. Like, what are your thoughts here?
Cole, Cole, what if I told you that there was a turn two infinite combo? There was a turn two Thassa's Oracle win deck in Legacy where they go one drop creature into two drop creature that mills my deck. Three Necromeebus comes back. I dread return back a Thassa's Oracle and win. What if I told you that that deck existed and that the one drop that allows them to mill themselves and their whole library also is a combo piece with Nadu?
Let's go.
So if
So it's
so if
so
you
it's
go
both.
so if you go, yeah, so if you go one drop into the two drop, it gets counter or killed. So and you can't and somehow go infinite in response because it's a zero mana ability to target it. It's a Shuko on a creature. Then
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking. It's like a one white mana creature, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Nomad on car, I think,
Yeah.
and it says prevent the next one damage that target creature would be dealt, or that would be dealt to Nomad Encore to target creature. So then you just target Nadu infinitely, or your other creature, which when it's targeted you mill three. So you target Nadu, and then the other thing is then you go to your opponent's upkeep, and then you can target all your stuff again because Nadu, of course, says each turn.
Yeah, and all the fucking lands enter untapped. Like,
Yeah,
who was asleep at the
and
wheel with this one?
and this and this deck was banned. This was blue white,
Yeah.
but with Nadu it became banned. It was banned, like basically playing Swords to Plowshares, Force of Will. They like just like only the best spells. And then you played an Urza Saga package, you played Nadu, and a turn two infinite combo that you back up with counter magic. The deck was ridiculously good. It was called Nadu Breakfast. Before it was just Breakfast, and the name literally got changed to Nadu First, breakfast.
Let's go. So yeah, Stain of all formats, Nadu, fuck off. We will see you in Vintage Cube and probably nowhere else. And that's where you belong, next
And
to Oko and all the
yes,
other mistakes, all the other the Simic
Simic 3 drops.
plagues.
So bad.
uh,
Entomb. Entomb is banned.
Intu
This is
makes
something that
sense.
legacy players have been clamoring for this for a while. They're like, "Hey, we're not I think the announcement does a good job of saying, "We used to reanimate Tidespout Tyrants. Whenever you cast a spell, you bounce a permanent. We used to reanimate like these really bad like do you remember what is it? Inkwell Leviathan, the 7-11 with Shroud. That's what that's what they used to the reanimate.
All right, let's read some excerpts here. I'll go ahead and make this a little bigger. After a significant amount of time and effort to preserve the iconic Entomb and reanimate play pattern of Legacy, time has come to lay one to rest. For multiple years, Demir Reanimator has rested atop the Legacy metagame, surviving multiple bans. Each step has barely phased the deck. Earlier this year, we tried to ban around Entomb and force players to play a more committal version of Reanimator that chose between having a robust, fair game plan and high impact, albeit exploitable, flashy combo plan. I think that they were referring to the banning of Grief. What else did they ban there? Was it just Grief?
So
Psychic Frog?
they've had four bands. They've had four bands. They've had Troll of Khazad-dûm, Grief, Frog, and now Entomb.
Yeah. What's we saying here? In our previous in our
Oh yeah, and it survived all of those bans, and it was totally fine. It survived the Grief banning, it survived
yeah,
the troll banning, and then Frog.
previous ban, restricted announcement, we spoke about wanting to give the format more time to adjust to the current version to Animator. It oops all spells. Finding ways to hate out decks as powerful as ones in Legacy takes time, and in the case of oops all spells, its metagame share has dropped dramatically, and the deck struggled a good deal at this year's North American Tournament weekend. On the other hand, Demir Reanimator had a spectacular weekend despite having a huge target on its back and a large metagame share, which is typically not a great sign. Uh, Not a
Oh,
decision we take lightly, or a step that fills us with joy. Aw. In years past, Entomb has done a bunch of things that look great from the perspective of game design, inspired decks, iconic, and at times an expanded range of cards that could be played in Legacy. Unfortunately, we don't live in a world where Entomb allows random mirror players to figure out if they should have a tech copy of Inkwell, Archon, Icepout Tyrant. Predominant use case shorthands to a small handful of creatures that play well in a more traditional threats backed up by efficient counter magic. Wow, wow.
yeah, yeah. What it turns out a turn two Atraxa every single game is really tough because they also play Brainstorm, they
No.
play Ponder.
Yeah, look,
Like,
there's no funsy onesies out here,
no,
fortunately.
it's mid-range creatures and Atraxa.
Three
Archon.
Barrowgoyf. Oh god.
Barrowgoyf is good, dude.
Oh god.
I've died to Barrowgoyf so many times. That card is actually really good.
Yeah,
That card with Frog, they
yeah,
didn't even need, there was a version that won a tournament. Didn't even need the Reanimator package. It was just blue, black, mid-range. And it stomped the tournament. It was ridiculous.
so yeah, I'm excited to see Demir Reanimator back up in top 8 once they adapt this in Toon Ban. Because
No,
that color combo is
that's
just gonna
exact.
be really good, regardless.
That's how it's felt. That's how it's felt for the longest time. It's just like no
Like,
matter what they ban out of blue black, it's like you have the busted reanimate stuff,
yeah.
and you have counter magic. That is by far the best thing you can be doing.
Like, honestly, maybe they just play Unmarked Grave. Like, cut the one Atraxa, play Unmarked Grave, an extra
Yeah,
copy of Archon, just call it a day.
same deck.
Same deck. One extra mana. Anyways, that was
So yeah,
fun. And so,
I think I think overall that's really good. Pauper, the experiment that is High Tide was done.
yeah,
High Tide was banned the entirety of the time that Pauper has existed.
yeah,
They knew it was not going to be good. They let people play with it. It was not good. It was cool for the players who wanted to play, and I respect that because I'm a combo player. I get that.
yeah.
But people did not. It was a long combo that was like very not deterministic, and you could whiff and kind of like Nadu. It's good that it's gone.
Mana Drain was legal in Brawl, dude. Strip Mine was legal in Brawl. What on earth was this format? People pulling up with their Galta like Naya. Dinosaur deck and
Somebody
people
somebody
like, yes.
somebody did tell me they were like, actually, I have a crime war crimes deck where I just on arena where I just play all these cards.
Land
I'm like, oh
destruction's
my god,
legal in the 1v1 formats.
so bad, so bad. So yeah, I think this
Yeah.
was a really good ban and restricted announcement. They axed Vivi, which is the biggest thing. They've been trying to prop up like standard for the longest time, and they made us go through an entire RCQ season that we knew was going to be horrible. We were like, no, please, don't make us do it. And they're like, Vivi, go talk to Vivi. And Vivi's like this, I'm going to kill you. And that's literally what it was. Like you watch VV mirrors, it felt like Nadu. How do you track which one of your creatures has activated the VV ability? Some people take them out of the sleeve, some people like put a dice above it. Like it's just like
It's a nightmare.
it's literally a nightmare and the card was too powerful.
Oh, cool. Awesome. You wanna talk about your pre-release experience? I
Yeah, I
was
mean you go first.
Yeah, so I drafted I opened, some white cards. I ended up being Selesnya. Um, you know, had a lot of fun with mechanics that I played with. Um, Airbending in specific, very strong. Seems like a good mechanic, and like the cards attached to the airbending cards also seem really decent, which is good. Um, I went to one, had a really good time. I think playing the Spider-Man pre-release, I also had fun at the Spider-Man pre-release, and that was like the last time I played Paper Magic, in comparison. But I think there was a very different and noticeable tonal change when playing this game or this set as opposed to Spider-Man, where it's like this one felt very cherished and very just considered as a set, which I appreciated. Um, Not to say that I don't think Spider-Man was of quality, but I think this one was like people paid special attention and special care to this one, which was great. So, yeah, had a great time. What about you?
Yeah, so I also felt like the energy in the room, the vibes were just better. Like that's an easy way to say it. The vibes were just much better. There was a lot of like laughing. There was a lot of like really good times. I played four of them. I played the we do a 7 o'clock and a midnight, and then on Saturday we do a 1 o'clock and a 5 o'clock two-headed giant. And I'd somehow oh, I survived all of them.
You make it happen.
The
You
first one
you do it almost every set.
did.
It's very commendable.
It was a lot of fun,
It's so fun.
honestly.
Yeah, sealed is great.
You get to see your friends, and like it's just it's an amazing experience. We have a great community. The Boardside Gaming is a ridiculously cool store. We had somebody grilling smash burgers outside.
Let's
Not
go.
like till midnight. It was a grandpa, a dad, and his son. And they were doing burgers, and the grandpa was collecting the money, and they were making the burgers on the grill right in front of the shop. Like
Grandpa was
I was on a tray
laundering.
on a trailer. It was so funny. And yeah, it was a great time. So the first one I played Naya. Somehow all of my rares were in Naya. Like I kept opening my packs like Allies looks really good. Blue and black looks horrible. I laid out my curve and I was like, wow, this looks really good.
Yeah.
And every single one of my creatures was an ally. I had Hadoka, I had Toph. Like it just felt ridiculous. I think I had the red 4 mana. Yeah, the first one had a 4 mana 4/4 with haste, and whenever that's the card I want to talk about.
Oh, why don't we
It's
just pull it up?
it's
Because we were just looking at it, weren't we?
Wartime Protesters is a 4 mana 4/4 with haste, and whenever an ally you control attack or enters, it enters with 1/1 counter and gains haste until end of turn. So yeah, this deck is actually ridiculous. I will say Gavany Township, slam dunk. If you don't know, now everybody should know, but if you don't know, Gavany Township, slam dunk, do it, play it. This card is ridiculous because it's really easy to make tokens of allies. So like, also, if you're just like throwing multiple bodies into play, like you play a 3 mana 2/1, right? There's a common 3 mana 2/1 that makes a 1/1 ally in the set. You play that, that's 5 power worth of haste
We're
right
good.
there. Like that for a 3 mana common.
Now,
So like
when you play two-headed giant, does this no, it doesn't, because it says you control. Does this do the thing with your teammate?
Sadly, no.
Dang.
Yeah, but it's it's still really good. I had a sequence. I guess we'll talk about that in the future. But yeah, so Naya felt ridiculously good. This deck smashed out of the park. The next one, not I was gonna say some really good rares. The next one was really bad, even though I had another Gavining Township and two more of the four drops. Again, played allies. We had a little bit more of like a controlling slant. We had a board wipe in this one. So here's the thing. Toph busted. Think this one is actually not just click the link. Right.
Hmm?
Uh, it's did you mean Toph hardened teacher? It'll give you the option go down a
Oh,
little
there we
bit.
go.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. It was like, you mean this? And it was like, no. I'm sorry.
There we go. Hard-headed
Boom.
teacher. Okay, so when he
This card.
enters, discard a card. If you do, return target instant sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Great. Hit your land, get a removal spell back. Whenever you cast a spell, Earthbend 1, that spell was a lesson. Put an additional +1/+1 counter on that land. Damn, that's good.
So
That's
you just cast a spell, grow your dude.
that's a
Because
4-mana
usually
three
what you
four.
end up doing earthbending and just put all the counters on one thing because it doesn't say another creature. You don't have to earthbend separate creatures. You can earthbend the same land creature over and over again because you can just put the counters on that land. And
Problem is you had
so
like
what you end up,
exactly lightning strike to get back.
yeah, there's no way to catch up besides the
Oh,
Avatar's Wrath.
what about this one? This
That's a
is
board wipe.
okay. That might be okay. But yeah,
It was it,
Zuko's
it was
exile you could
okay.
get back to. Yeah, that's definitely I think what probably hurt this deck the most is just lack of removal. But it seems decent.
Yes, this is a 2-1, so we this is midnight. Definitely not as good as the first one. And then this one was an absolute mess. I came in not getting enough sleep the next day, played one at 1 o'clock p.m., and I was just not there. I think I
This
made this
mana base
deck
hurts
and I
my
played.
feelings. You're literally playing
I
Selesnya with 5 mountains for like 3 cards, dude. This
I
hurts.
was I was not I was like fixing can go fixing can kick it like I just equal amounts everything, let's just ship
Equal,
it, let's
yeah.
go. And
Oh
I
god.
learned from this one, I went 1-2. I learned from this one that I have to mulligan to having my 3 colors in my opening hand. Even if the hand's not good, I need that to be able to play the game.
Yeah,
And I went 3-0 in the next one because I got to play with our buddy Alex Newton, the
man to man.
absolute legend.
True.
So I picked a black kit, he picked a blue kit because we wanted to make him the best blue black control deck possible. I think it's there's a 2 mana instant that exiles target creature with CMC 3 or greater, and he had 4 of those. Like I just gave him like a
It's like one in a
gigantic
black, right?
pile. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave him a gigantic pile of removal and he had a bunch of flyers. And then I was like, okay, now I get all the other I get Naya. He gets Demir. And so I just took the Naya cards and I was like, okay, I'm gonna build the best allies deck I can. This deck felt insanely busted. And honestly, this card was the MVP. Cole's got great instincts. Uh 3 mana 2/3 vigilance. Allies get +1/+1. Like being able to just cast this 3 drop and buff up your 2 drop
So many
and make
allies in
it
this set,
so much
dude.
yeah, like also avatar fanatics or enthusiasts gets to counter whenever an ally enters and all the creatures are allies.
Do you have any
So like every
non-allies in your deck is the question? Yeah,
yes, the badger mole
you're one
and
troop.
the kangaroo.
Yeah.
And I usually just cycle the troop, but like there are some misses, but usually it's every creature you play just grows it. And then we had one really crazy sequence where my opponents were getting aggressive, and I went 3 drop Lord into 4 drop. The we have another wartime protesters
Yeah. Oh my.
up in the top. Yeah. So we had a 3 drop Lord into wartime protesters on 4, attack for 7. And then next turn on 5, we cast the Ang, which if you look up the Bant Ang,
It's so funny how this also looks like such a solid just Celestia deck. It's like it's like we're just casually splashing with 4 mountains, dude. It's like, ah!
my draft fundamentals are not the greatest.
It gets the job done, it gets the job done, dude.
just, just go for it.
At the
uh, so
crossroads, 3/3 flyer. When it enters, you look at the top 5. Feature card with mana 4 or less. Put it onto the battlefield. Wow.
right?
Whenever another
Cool
creature control
humans.
leaves, whenever you airbend, basically you're transforming into a 4/4 flyer. Land creatures you control have vigilance. Begin in combat with bend 2. Yeah, yeah,
So
that's a good
so I
one.
was able to go 3-drop Lord, 4-drop the Wartime Protesters, attack for 7, turn 5 play Ang, flip Ang into the 3 mana Ang that's a rare that earthbend or that airbends when it enters and is a 2/3 with flying and flash. So then it enters with +1/+1 counters from the Wartime Protesters, gains haste, and is lorded by my lord.
Oof.
I attack for it's 3, 5, 2, 9 plus 7 is 16. And then we have lethal in the air the following turn. And we win.
How many white
It was
sources are you running in this deck? I'm actually. Is this a red white land?
no, that's red green.
It's a red green land? One, two, five white sources?
Are my ma- are my man is my mana math really
Your
bad?
mana that
The
is
barrel lets me
bad.
mana fix, Cole. The
Well,
barrel lets me mana
you've got
fix.
like 9 green sources, 8 green sources on your green splash, but you got 5 white sources. Listen, we're not gonna talk about it.
Cole's showing his limited skills. I'm just throwing lands in my deck. I'm just like I finished my deck building.
Oh shit.
Time to fuck it up.
If you need a color, you should basically be counting to 10 every time you need a color. And if you're not at 10 sources of whatever you need, you should probably shouldn't be happy about it. But here we
You're
are.
smart. You're very smart.
No, I think
So
this is a good pile.
yeah, what I will say is this deck was literally just throw as many high power threats into play as possible and let Alex kill everything that moves.
Yeah.
And he got to waterbend 10 to cast a Spirit Water Revival and just draw 7 in his extremely busted control deck in 2 separate matches. And yeah, we ended up going 3-0. I will say Toph is busted, Earthbending's busted, Badger Mole's busted.
Mm,
Like there's so many busted, like insane cards. Allies seems very strong.
yes.
It feels like it could be an actual deck. Are there any cards that you kind of want to talk about from this set?
Yeah, definitely want to talk about just, Wang Shitong specifically. Are these all commander stuff, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's gotta have the I gotta have the face.
How do I get that's teenage?
What? We're not even there yet.
I know. Sorted by rarity.
Okay, Boomy is busted. That's what I want to talk about first.
Let's start with Boomy.
No, there's so much stuff. The Boomy at the very top on the left.
Unleashed.
Yeah.
5
So,
mana,
so the,
5/4.
good.
Tramby. Enters Earthbend 4. So that's 9 power for 5 mana. Here we are. 2 bodies, by the way. Then when he deals damage, when Boomy deals combat damage to a player, you untap all lands you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Only land creatures can attack during that combat phase. But like, so card's
You
good.
just got to untap all your lands. Like it's a sword of I think it's Feast and Famine.
Yep, that's true.
That lets you untap all your lands. You don't even have to attack. You're just like, oh, mana ramp. Uh, you give
Yeah.
this thing haste with wartime. Wartime protesters, I will say, will be a card that I mentioned a million times. But if you go, we have Llanowar Elves in standard, so we go turn 1 Llanowar Elves,
Yeah.
turn 2. The Ally Lord, turn
Badger
3
Mole,
Wartime Protesters. Yeah, so exactly. Badger Mole, like
and
do
then
a
you play
bajillion
another 2
different
drop.
things.
Yeah.
And play another Badger Mole, and then yeah, your fucking land and your Mana Dork both tapped for 2.
Well, if you have 2 Badger Moles
So yeah.
out, does it not tap for
Yeah,
3 each?
it does. It
So,
does.
yeah, if you have an insane turn like that where you go, like, Lanny E on 1, turn 2, you tap both your lands, and you Badger Mole, and then you tap Llanowar Elves for 2, play another Badger Mole. Next turn, you have all of your lands Earthbent at that point, so 3, 6, 9 from the Llanowar Elves, and then you play land.
Poking tooth and nail. You can tooth and nail on
You
3.
could do the nail. Ah!
Dude, that's so cool. But
That's
yeah, I
pretty
just
good.
think that earthbending in general is just gonna be busted. Like as I said, you're 2 for wanting literally, as we said, every time that you're casting a spell with earthbend.
Yeah.
And if you can flicker this somehow, insane.
Insane. Hell yeah. Well, glad we talked about Boomy. Buddy's good too. Um, Appa's great.
Badger Mole. Let's just talk about Badger
Yeah,
Mole.
let's talk about Badgermole.
So like I think this card is just like actually gonna be insane in a lot of formats. Like what
I mean,
whenever you
modern,
tap a creature for mana, add an additional green.
there's so many implications,
But
right?
like,
But it's like
yeah.
that part's good, but also it's the cheapest way to earthbend. So you just target your land and your fetch land comes back. It's like its utility in that way is great. Um, you could like play it with ephemerate, like make sure that you always have a fetch land to crack, and like it's insane ramp in that way. So, and then obviously there's just like, it's insane for producing mana. You could Great Sun Zenith for 1, get a Dryad Arbor. Now that's a Soul Ring. Like, you're good.
Now imagine you put it on a wasteland, and then you just keep
There you,
wastelanding your opponent.
world's your oyster, dude. Yeah, I kind of want to see like a brew with like Tyvar or something, like a combo deck that like comes in and can win out of nowhere. Like Badger Mole and Osteomancer, like kind of like the standard brew. Maybe there's something there.
Yeah, I think you can do a lot of crazy stuff with this. It's just a 2 mana 2/2 that also makes a 1/1 and makes that 1/1 tap for 2 mana. Like
Yeah.
by itself, it's insane.
Yeah. This is a
Uh,
card that Spike talked about, and I thought it was really powerful, but after he talked about it, I wanted to just touch on it really quick. Um,
yeah, I think this card is really bad, but I could be very wrong.
yeah, let me
This,
try to sell you on it. So 4 mana 4/4 vehicle with flying. Beginning your end step, if you sacrifice a permanent this turn, create a token that's a copy of this vehicle. And then as long as you control 8 or more permanents named Phoenix Fleet airship, you don't have accrue cost, which is 1 normally. So basically, the play pattern of this is like you get it on the board. Sacrificing something is pretty much not uh, an opportunity cost, really. In like modern is actually the application that I'm thinking of. You got Mishra's Bauble, you got fetch lands, you've got Phyrexian Tower, you've got all of those options. Shambling Ghast,
cookbook.
Cookbook, yeah, and like Spike specifically said like turn 1 you play Shambling Ghast, and then turn 2 you play Phyrexian Tower, you know,
1 second.
sack it, make a treasure. Let me know if you need me to clip it and pause it, Jack. I can do that.
Yeah, let's cookbook. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Audrey just
Okay. So, Phoenix Fleet Airship is a good card.
nah.
Okay, so here's what's going on with this card. So it's 4 mana 4/4 flyer. Beginning your end step, you sack a permanent, make a token that's a copy of the vehicle. The second line of text doesn't matter too much. It's got crew on. So what's going on with this card? This card is immediately 8 power and 2 artifacts at the end of your turn. Sacking permanents is pretty easy in a format like modern with bobble, fetch lands, Phyrexian Tower. So hear me out. So like you have Shambling Ghast, you play that on 1. Turn 2, you play Phyrexian Tower, boom. Make a treasure, you make 2 mana from the Phyrexian Tower, tap your swamp. You play Phoenix Fleet Airship, you sack it to a permanent, you make 8 power flying. Next turn, you play Bowmasters, and Bowmasters amasses 1, and you can crew your Phoenix Fleet Airship and you attack them for 8. And then you crack a fetch land, and you either Fatal Push or you Thoughtseize. And then you make 2 more Phoenix Fleet Airships that both have crew 1. At this point, you have 4 Phoenix Fleet Airships. So what are you doing? What are you doing with these Phoenix Fleet Airships? I'm glad you asked. On the following turn, next turn, if you sack one of your guys to the Phyrexian Tower, like the Amass or the Bowmasters, or you have another fetch land or a bauble, you then have 8 Phoenix Fleet airships on the end step. And at that point, you don't need to crew them, and you have 8 artifacts. In all seriousness, I just think it's cool. And the possibility of like it being interacted with between the time that you cast it and the time you go to end step and make a token, it's pretty limited window. So I actually think that this card probably dodges a lot of like interaction and then just becomes untenable. Now, can you play it? Can you go like land 4 Phoenix Fleet Airship? I don't think so, but if you play it in the right strategy, you know, you see the mission. I think the mission is here.
I think you sold it. I think you sold it 1,000%. So let's go over how many turns does it take? Because you get one in the end step.
So
Does it take 3 turns to get to there?
yeah, so it's 2 at your first end step, 4 at the second, 8 in the third. So you're 3. If you could do it on turn 2 in that situation, then
It's only
on
three
on
turns.
turn 5, you've got 8 times 4. That 24? No.
8 times 4 is
20,
36.
32.
32.
Eight.
Can't do math. I think you're right. You said five. You said
No, because
5?
4 times 5 is 20, so just add 8.
Oh, it's 4 times 5. Yeah, that's right.
No, because it would be
28. Math is hard. Math is hard. Anyways, I think this card's great
think you were
because of
right
the
the first
fact
time. I
that
think 32 is the right answer.
I think it's really fast. I think that
Yeah.
um, just just being able to like get this in play, you already have fetch lands. You already have like you originally said, like you have Mishra's Bauble, you have treasures. Like I look at this and I go, okay, Clockwork Colossus. Is it Metalwork Colossus? The
Mhm.
one that costs X less for X is the total CMC among artifacts you control.
Yep.
Like just like random niche applications, we're just having big like CMC artifacts in play. It it could be really cool. Like there's a lot of really niche scenarios, and if mono black aggro is a thing, and they're just like, okay, we're playing sack outlets, we're playing the 2 mana 3/2 that sacks and scries, like we're playing Phoenix Fleet Airship. I could see us dying in a couple turns, but it's a really cool card.
100%. Moving right along, we've got Wan Shi Tong. That rhymed. Librarian X blue blue for a 1/1 flash flying vigilance. When Wan Shi Tong enters, put X plus 1 counters on him. Then you draw half X cards rounded down. So just, flash them in, you draw cards, kind of like a flash Hydrate Crisis ridiculousness. And then it has this other line of text that says, whenever an opponent searches their library, you put a counter on him, you draw a card. This card is kind of
In,
unreasonable, to be honest.
insane.
Um, Obviously, in the context of older formats, modern, even legacy, I can see this card being good. You're searching your library. This is going to be benefiting from that. And then, yeah, it's just really impactful to have a card that, I mean, Flash Flying Vigilance is quite the type line. So I think that this card is just going to be just adequately busted. If I'm reading it correctly, if I'm evaluating the card correctly, and I think we as the Magic community are doing a good job of evaluating that correctly.
Yeah, I can't imagine how cool this could be with like a deck that's built around like making your opponent search. You go like Field of Ruin or like forced you just force them to search over and over again. and then you keep getting free draws. Like at that point, it's just 2 mana for a 1/1. When it enters, doesn't draw you a card, but if you respond to their first fetch, right, like you instantly draw your card back. It's instantly replaced itself, and it's growing. And if you draw late game, you can just generate a huge body and get a bunch of cards. Feels ridiculous. Flash Hydroid Crisis, why?
That actually sounds so like such a fun deck where you're playing like Ice Till Explorer, Ghost Quarter, and Washing Tongue, and then you're just like, yeah, that actually sounds like a really fun deck to play. I'm not gonna lie, and slightly, and then you hit them with Plow Under, and then they explode.
They're
uh,
like,
yeah, simpler times. But yeah, any final thoughts on Wan Shi Tong?
I think this card is obviously busted, and it's just going to be like, how well can people use it? Oh no, 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 no! You use this in blue red with firebending, and everything gets firebending, and this is something to use the firebending mana for.
There you go.
No,
Yeah, can you
God.
imagine you like play the super boring firebending, whatever it's called, one in a red, 1/2 prowess. Is it prowess or is firebending X? Where X is its power, and then
Yeah, that's it.
you like
Well,
double
there's a two drop
monstrous
that makes.
rage.
Yeah, as you say, there's a 2 drop 2/2 common that makes two red mana when it attacks. So
Yeah,
it's like, and that 2 drop has pay 3, put a counter on it.
very
So
good.
it's just what I think it could be really ridiculous with this is if we play goblins, we have a Krenko, we use Sozin's Comet, give all of our goblins fire breathing 5, and then we attack for like 30. We make like 3 times 5 is 50, 150 red mana. We have 2 blue, we flash and one sheet down, and then we
Listen,
deck ourselves and
Izzet
win with
Goblins has to be
style.
the best two color goblins color, right? Because you have stock up and you have Wan Shi Tong now, so you can like
Consult.
howl squad heavy after you Krenko. Wan Shi Tong, you draw 12 cards, and you kill them anyways with the Krenko that you just dump 12 tokens onto the
In
battlefield from. But
Enduring Curiosity in Goblins, nasty. Let's try it.
let's try it.
I haven't tried that. I haven't tried that yet.
Okay, so an interesting combo with Doc Orlock, Grizzled
Uh,
Genius coming into the fray. Blue and a green, 2/3 spells you cast from your graveyard or from exile cost 2 less to cast. Plotting also costs 2 less, but this is less relevant in this example. Uh, what we have here, Jack, we've got Ing Swift Survivor, which is a 3 mana 2/3 flash flying. When it enters, you airbend up to one target spell, which I think is the important part. You can waterbend to transform, but that's not important here. And then Appa, Steadfast Guardian, 4 mana 3/4 flash flying. When he enters, you airbend any number of other target non-land permanents you control. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. So, without you explaining it to me, it sounds like if you have two permanents that say orc creatures that say like when it enters you airbend a creature, you have Dark Orlock on the battlefield, you can just loop them because airbending says you can pay 2 generic mana instead of paying their casting cost. So,
yes.
in fact, Appa plus Doc Warlock by itself is kind of an interesting and good combo where if you have any sort of board state, you can like pick up all the rest of your cards and then play them all right away, which is a very powerful combo. And then you make a bunch of 1/1s as well, like along the way.
So Aang is insane because it's basically Spell Queller. You put it back if they tap out for a spell, you say okay, you have to pay 2 more, and instead of being countered, they just get to play it next turn. But Aang with Appa is actually ridiculous because when you cast the Aang from exile after it's exiled with the Appa, you recast it. Before it targets the Appa, you get a trigger from the Appa because you cast Aang from exile, and you make a 1/1. And the 1/1 is generated in between the loop. So these two, not only is it a infinite token loop, but it's also infinite ETBs, infinite leaves the battlefield triggers, and it's flash. So if you have Doc Orlock in play and you have an Aang, you can
Just
flash in the
pass.
Appa at their end step, and then
Yeah.
you can go infinite at their end step, make infinite tokens, because each time you go through the loop, you generate one token, and then you untap and attack for infinite, and you end the loop with Appa in your hand, so that you can, in response to whatever removal spell they play, recast the Appa, exile your Ang, recast the Ang, and restart the chain.
It's pretty good. I love that.
I want to. I think people should play it with impact trimmers. Can you imagine if they're just like, actually, no, I win now.
Yeah.
Like I would like to make infinite ETBs
Well,
with impact tremors.
we've got Iridescent Vine Lasher. I feel like that would be also a good contender as well, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. Really cool. Infinite combo, 3 card combo. Doesn't seem impossible to pull off. Banned colors.
yeah.
Awesome.
It
Okay.
looks it looks really cool.
All right, let's talk about Azula Cunning Usurper. 2 blue, black, black for a 4/4 firebending 2. She enters. Target opponent exiles a non-token creature they control. Then they exile a non-land card from the graveyard. During your turn, you may cast cards exiled with Zula, and you may cast them as though they had flash. Mana of any type may be spent to cast those spells. Thoughts, feelings?
I feel like it just like steals your opponent's removal, it steals their early threats, and being able to have like their stuff at instant speed allows you to like utilize your firebending. Like I don't think that there's going to be a lot of like Grixis firebending, but I feel like sometimes the removal spell that you're stealing is just 2 mana anyways. If they have like a duress on one, you have the mana. And if like you played this last turn because it doesn't have haste, then you get to untap with it, have at least 5 mana to work with, steal anything, and then you just like keep churning through it. It is only when it enters, so you don't get to like keep stealing stuff, but like if you like play Esper, maybe you airbend your stuff, like that's kind of the cool thing about this set is like it makes you want to put the pieces together in different ways. You're like airbending's good here. Oh, earthbending's really good here. Firebending's busted if you have a way to use it. So I think this card's really cool. Um, just another Gonti, but in a different kind of way.
Yeah, that's the first comparison that I also made to it. Was like this is just a Gonti card, and I was like, okay, well if it's Gonti, like Gonti lets you cast a spell even if it gets removed, and it's got Death Touch. It's got some more utility, and it's got some different utility, I should say. But this card's good because it enters and it impacts the board right away. They have to exile a non-token creature they control and an online card from their graveyard. So it's like they have to pick a spell. Hopefully, they have nothing but relevant spells. Their deck is like super high card quality. This card goes up in card quality as well. Um, so I think it like scales with the power level of your opponents, which is nice. Um, Exiling the spells and letting you cast them as though they had flash is nice. So I'm seeing some good things here. But yeah, I mean, it's like if she enters and then she dies right away, what has she done for you? Is kind of probably her. It's going to keep her from being like the most impactful card. Like she is playing up against like Kefka and stuff like that. But I think she's super interesting and can. She has a lot of potential.
I guess this we have to kind of look at this like what is it? There's a 5 mana saga that ETBs to make an opponent sack.
Oh, the
After 2s
Eldest
they discard.
Reborn.
Compare this to Eldest Reborn. This is kind of like it comes down. You don't play it as a creature. You play it as just the Edict effect,
Hmm.
but then the Edict effect eventually draws you a card. But you have to cast it in this sense. But that didn't have a body, right? Like imagine how good it would have been if your Eldest Reborn was a 4/4, like blank, right? Like you would have taken we would have taken that.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we compare it in that sense, it makes it a little bit better, but it's definitely going to be a very very specific deck that wants it. And who knows, blue black control. Oh, does this go in blue black mid range? Do you think this is like top end in blue black, like Demir? Like you're just like
Yeah. I mean,
gotta get rid of a
it's
thing.
if you're not going to play Kefka, like I have a super soft spot for Kefka. I think that card's super sick and sweet. I don't know if it's actually like really all that great, but I think that that's probably what this card's maybe competing against in the 5 drop slot.
Yeah.
But if you're playing Dimir mid-range, which entails you to be playing utility lands, then Azula looks a lot better than a card like Hefka, where your mana is a lot more smooth. You can play like Field of Ruins, you can play, you know, man lands of various sorts. So, yeah, I like Azula. Let's go ahead and move on to Beifong's Bounty Hunters. Two
This
black,
card's cool.
yeah, two black green, 4/4. Whenever non-land creature you control dies, Earthbend X, where X is that creature's power. Jack, how do you feel about this card?
Okay, so hear me out. It goes infinite with um, a colony garden because the token enters. It's an 0/1. Then you just need a sack. You need a sack outlet. The token enters. You make an 0/1. Then you earthbend the creature. Then when you sack the 0/1, you earthbend the colony garden. Then you sack the colony garden. Then it comes back, and then you make the token, and then you sack the token, and then you earthbend. You
Let's
present a loop,
go.
and
Colony
and
Garden. What else do we
it's
have?
nasty.
We got Colony
Sack
Garden.
outlet.
We've got Dwarven Mine if you have 4 lands and they're all mountains. We've got what else? Are there any other lands that do that for us? Field of the Dead, but
I'm
that's a
trying.
bad no, Field of the Dead is banned in modern, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's still banned
but
for some
like
reason.
it's a really cool combo piece and does something this is the cool thing about eternal formats, right? We get to see like, hey, Colony Garden's back, baby.
Yeah. This card's super sweet. Yeah, I like this a lot, and I have learned about this, about myself as a Magic player. I identify less as like a blue player or a black player or a green player, and I identify more as someone who likes to take game actions. I like to just do trinkety stuff, and like this is definitely the kind of card that lends itself to that gameplay. So yeah, you might catch me with like a Chthonian Nightmare wrist situation where
Ooh.
you're earth bending and you're getting like, yeah, you've got some free sack outlets that are very good aside from Viserys here, but obviously that's like the best one. But yeah,
There's
um,
there's a couple.
very nice. Anything else you want to end with, close with? Maybe final thoughts or another card that catches your eye?
I think one of the biggest things to take away is that allies are just really good. If you just like slowly like roll down, like a lot of these cards that are really good are just also allies. They just have it stapled to the end of them. And so like there's a lot of cards that say, "Oh, allies do this and allies do that." And you can play allies from the top of your there's a Hadoka is a really good example of like how badly they want allies to be good.
Mm.
It's 4 mana for a 3/5. It's got vigilance. You can sack it to give all your allies, I think, indestructible plus and plus O plus 5.
Yeah, yeah,
And then you can also look at and cast allies from the top of your library.
yeah.
So you're like, they're like, look, allies do exist, and we're gonna try to give you as much support as possible. Like now, if you go back and you just look at Sokka's like another example of like how badly they want allies to be a thing. It's like super pushed. You're looking at Sokka and you're like, why does it have all of these abilities? It shouldn't have all of these. That one, the 3 color one, to the right. Yeah, perfect. That card is actually insane. 4 mana, 3 menace prowess. Other allies have menace and
Oh
prowess.
my
Whenever you cast a
gosh,
non-creature spell, make an ally.
that card's really
Like
good.
you're just playing this in like just get control,
So
or
that's
you're just playing it in allies.
that's your
All your allies enter.
monastery
It's like
mentor. It's your monastery mentor in Jeskai now. Pretty good.
so. All these allies are super super pushed. They're trying to make this a thing, and I think that in Eternal formats, they just made allies more like slivers. They're like all of the allies do all of the things, but they're actually like less like less insane than slivers. Slivers are very like one-sided.
Yeah.
All the cards do one thing, and then all of these cards have like actual abilities in text, and
Yeah.
it's super cool.
Yeah, good thing Props got banned right before Sokka came out because I think this card would be also dummy good with
Dude.
you just get like a 2 mana Steam Core Scholar. Why not?
Yeah.
There you go.
Like nothing bad's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they did a really good job pushing this set. They did a really good job like trying to like make it punch its weight, and I think the allies are a great example of that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it for me. I think they've had a lot of like really good. Oh, yes, let's talk about the lion turtle. We just watched the finale, like again, just to have it fresh in my mind. And the lion turtle talking to Aang, being like, "We used to bend energy." It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then, and yeah, this card is really cool.
Yeah, just like this art. This is just the art that I'll pull up as we end it. I like this set a lot. I am glad to be back in the booth with you, bro. I think we're gonna be making a more of a pattern of this as the sets come out. Unreasonably hyped for Lauren Eclipse. It's gonna be amazing, and we'll see. You know, what do we have next after that? Star Trek, or is it? No, it's TMNT after Lauren Eclipse, isn't it? Uh,
Uh, and that's somehow better.
yeah, we'll be in New York. We'll be in the streets.
Back, we were just there with Spider Man. We were just there with Spider Man.
We were just
Back
there,
in New York. New
but yeah,
York is the new Ravnica.
that's what I'm just equating him to be exactly the same thing, and for me, it's working. So if you're having trouble, wrapping your head around it, just think of it
It's a
as Ravnica.
multiverse.
Yes, exactly. We contain multitudes. All right, that's gonna do it for us, Jack and Cole podcast episode. Who fucking knows? We'll catch you next time. If you made it to the end, we appreciate you, and have a good one.
Peace.